It is a sunny day here in Tampa Bay. We are out here at, you guessed it, the Channel District, better known as Channelside. This neighborhood is the residential corridor of downtown Tampa. Here you'll find the most units for sale, the most units for rent than anywhere else here in the city. My goal with this video is for you to join me for a little walk around the neighborhood. As a former resident, I think I can give you a unique perspective on what it's like to actually live here. And along the way, I'll point out all of the residential buildings, both for sale and for rent. Let's go. So our little walk starts here at the corner of Cumberland and 11th Street. What we'll do is we'll head up 11th Street, back down 12th Street, and we'll point out all these buildings along the way. Starting strong here, actually right behind me, is the towers. This is one of the coolest buildings here in Channelside. These rise up 29 stories and has a big, huge resort style pool. You know, there's so many of these new buildings that come around and say, oh, we have a resort style pool, but you go and see it, it's a pretty regular pool. Not this one though. It's got a bridge that goes across the pool there, and it's got all kinds of little waterfalls and features and stuff like that in there. So it's a really cool building if you're considering something more on the luxury side. In fact, Rob Gronkowski, when he first moved to the Buccaneers here in Tampa, lived in one of the penthouses at the top. So these come in a 2, 3, and 4 bedroom units. And as you can see a little bit behind me here, these balconies that they have are just incredible. So you have these very wide views from the balconies, and it's just a really, really beautiful building. Again, just way ahead of its time. And just across the street from that brings us to our first apartment building. So this one is Pierhouse. These are all just for rent here. So we're gonna walk through Pierhouse down 11th. It has a little park that goes through the middle of the apartment building. So Pierhouse has studio and 2-unit apartments. These are some of the better priced here in Channelside. Pretty big churn. So these guys almost always have units available. It doesn't really get backed up here. You know, coming out of some of these buildings, you'll get backed up coming onto the main roads. And what's cool about this one is it has this little roundabout that comes out of the parking garage here and onto Cumberland there. And Cumberland will back up a little bit, but at least you won't be backed up coming out of the parking garage. So right now we're walking through the little art park here. And this basically is turned into like a dog park type thing. But I think it's a nice little thing to have through the middle of this apartment complex. Cool little art displays there. What's up? You're good. You guys are gonna be famous. All right, so we made it to the other side of the art park here. Here's those corner units here at Pierhouse. They have this real nice rounded balcony. And if you hear that, that is the cruise ship departing. That is a very common noise that you're going to hear here in Channelside. So we actually have 2 different buildings here that we are coming up on. So this one behind me is 101 North Meridian. This is a brand new building. The cool thing about this one is it has these townhouse style apartments for rent. So you can just have a little walk up into your townhouse style apartment. I think that's really cool. This one rises up 15 floors, and so just back that way is all city views there, and then back the other way is going to be all of the port views there of the channel. So this is a really cool building, and again, those townhouse style units are super unique. You really don't see those too often. And another cool building here that we're coming up on, this yellow one, is the Meridian. This one's been here a little while. It's really a staple here in Channelside. It is all loft style. So if you like that polished concrete, that, you know, industrial style look, this one is going to be good for you. You've got a rooftop pool here that's really cool too. This building only has 37 units, so they do come up for sale ever so often. But they're pretty rare. So people love the space and the garages in those. So we are crossing Meridian right now. As you can see, there's the city views on that side. And then back that side, I don't know if you can see it, is the cruise ships over there. One thing about this neighborhood too is I love that you're in the city, but a lot of times it still feels like a small town. You'll run into the same people. Everybody's really nice over here. This brick building is pretty beautiful. A lot of the lawyers have their offices in this one. There's the city back there. Beautiful. What a beautiful day. So there's an interesting building just behind me. The City Blue building here. If buying a whole building is more of your style, this one is actually for sale for $12.4 million. It has a big 6,000 square foot penthouse with a really cool terrace, spa, fireplace, all the works, and it's got 3 other office units in there, so it does generate income, and 12-car garage down here at the bottom. You actually see the current owner here always hanging out in that garage, waving hi to everybody passing by. So it'll be sad when he goes, which brings us to our next building. The Slade is another apartment building. These are just for rent here. It rises up 8 floors. In 2009, they actually had these units up for sale, and then ended up getting a majority share back and then turning it into a rental building. That's the Maven building there. He sells odds and ends in there, antiques, stuff like that. On the side of that building is actually where I did that intro. He's got a really cool mural up there. And then, water falling on me. And then on the left side here, we've seen a lot of commercial businesses kind of come and go. Right now, they've got a really nice hair studio in here. Starting to see these places getting more busy as more people move to the area, which is a really cool thing. Got a little tattoo lounge, and then you've got Imperial Draft Beer here. It's a cool little bar. This thing's pretty new to the area as well. So we're out here at the end of 11th here at Kennedy. So this big building behind me here is the Fitz. This is a really cool luxury building. And just behind me here is Grand Central. They are the same exact building, just mirrored. And they've got a really cool pool up on the 9th floor there. Down in the middle is where the Crunch is. There's a little courtside area there for several bars and restaurants. Really cool spot to hang out and watch the game. And can't forget to mention Robex Juice, the best smoothies in town. And I mean that when you're coming from Crunch and you need to get that protein in, they've got some really good protein smoothies. They got some really good juices and stuff like that. We're still out in front of the Fitzgerald. I like how they have the walk-up units on the side of this building. And just through this secure door here is where the Courtyard is. They've got a really cool pool there in the middle. A couple other little commercial shops here. You've got a little boutique there, and then a little nail thing over here. There's another nail thing over there. Fun fact about the Fitzgerald, this was actually slated to be a hotel that was going to rise up 28 floors, and I don't think they got the zoning. I'm not sure exactly what happened, so they had to settle for 8. So one other cool thing about this building is it has 13 different floor plans, and they do have a big 3-bedroom unit as well. All right, so we made it over to the corner of Kennedy and 12th. This is right at the end of that Grand Central building, and just behind us there is the Ventana. So we're right in between Ventana and Grand Central now. Ventana has the pool right here, and then units on both sides, which is really cool. All right, so we are coming up on Madison Street, which runs horizontal of our trip here. You'll see behind me is the Inscription. This is a brand new building. They just started leasing now, and they have that rooftop pool and a bunch of different floor plans to choose through. They had to kind of come up with a bunch of different crazy angles. When I moved here 3 years ago, this was pretty much all warehouse. So on my left here is Grand Central. We've got the Inscription here. And then that big one in the back is the Mav. They finished that one about a year ago. That one's 19 stories. It has 324 units, so that's a pretty huge building. Bunch of different floor plans. It's got the floor-to-ceiling windows and the rooftop pool, of course. You'll notice that pretty much all these things have rooftop pools. This little one, ground level back here, is Bell Channelside. That one's one of the originals here in the area as well. Bell Channelside has 424 units. That one is just for rent too. We'll walk across Madison to the dog park here. So on the left is the Madison Dog Park. See some trees falling over from the hurricane. But this is the dog park here. It's got like a little ski ball area, a little putting green, and a little area for the dogs there, and a pickleball court, which is very active. In fact, if you want to jump into a pickleball game, a lot of times you're waiting in a line. So to see somebody not utilizing the pickle court right now is pretty rare. And then back here, the one with the mural is Channel Club. Really awesome views there as well. That one rises up 22 floors, and the best part about that building is it has the Publix down on the ground floor. And so if you know Floridians, you know they love Publix. And this is a very dog-friendly place. If you'll notice, there is dog parks all over the place here. You know, within a quarter-mile radius, I believe you got 5 different dog parks. If you're a dog lover, this area is awesome. So to recap, over here on Madison, you've got this big long one, both sides, Grand Central, and then you've got the Inscription there. You've got the Mav there. You've got Bell Channelside down on the bottom level, and then Channel Club. Everything on this side is just apartments for rent, except for Grand Central. Grand Central is condo units, but you'll see a lot of units up for rent there by owner. And there's a better look at the park there behind me. And this is the little shortcut to the Publix just on the other side of Channel Club. And Channel Club, being so big, has pretty incredible views. So if you're looking north, it's just all treetops, and you get to see Ybor City from there. If you're looking this way, you've got the channel. If you're looking this way, you've got all of Channelside. And if you're looking that way, you've got the downtown views back that way. We're going to walk through the courtyard between Grand Central here. And there used to be a really cool restaurant here called China. They actually just closed it down, which is really sad. And back here we've got Pierhouse, one of the best bars. In the morning, that's actually a coffee shop, Ginger Beard Coffee. I think it's the best coffee in town. And then you've got my office, which is actually just on the second floor here of Grand Central. And as you can see here on a Sunday, everybody is chilling out, watching the game. And down here, they've also got a Massage Envy, best places to get massages in town. And then the other bar over there is City Dog Cantina, awesome bar. You've got Gelato Go for real, authentic Italian gelato, which is delicious. And the Poke Company here. So if you like sushi, you know, poke bowl's just sushi in a bowl. It's delicious. So over there's the East Building, and over here is the West Building. There's 2 commercial-sized gyms here in Channelside. You've got the Crunch just behind me here, and a ton of people go to the Crunch there, so try to avoid that at busy hours. We're back on Kennedy now. We're going to head down 12th Street and point out those buildings along the way. Again, just behind me is the Fitz. I'm trying not to get run over crossing the road again. All right, so we're back over here on 12th Street. One thing that's pretty awesome, if you've never been to Ybor, tons of bars, sort of like a party town of Tampa here, and it's a lot cheaper than going out downtown. And you've got these rail cars that come along the port side there, and they go all the way through downtown, but they also go back to Ybor, which is really cool that you can just jump on it, and it's completely free to use those. All right, so we're coming up on the Channelside Lofts here just behind me. This is phase 1 of the Channelside Lofts, and these are really, really cool inside. They even have a little balcony. I don't know if you can see, there it is. They even have a little balcony up there. Yeah, these channel side lofts are really beautiful. Real open floor plan. They're all 2 stories. And here is the parking lot for them just behind me. As you can see, very secure gate here. And we're getting into the second phase of the channel side lofts. There's actually one, this unit here is actually for sale right now. But the second phase is really beautiful. And this building behind me deserves some recognition too. This is 204 North 12th Street. It just recently got its historical designation. It was a old warehouse where they stored trucks for like a shipping company. But she's turned it into this beautiful urban garden. She'll actually sell you plants here. This building is really just an icon of Channelside. She's got the door open there. Really pretty. And which brings us over to this building. Has the most creative name of all of the buildings in Channelside. This one here. This one is called The Place. You've got Bamboozled, which is really delicious. And you've actually got another little grocery store here. We have a couple duckweeds here. Pretty funny name too, right? The duckweed is in the place, right? Only things you find here in Channelside. So anyways, the duckweed is a little grocery store. So if you need those quick odds and ends, you know, that's a great spot to get them. And they've got a little liquor store down here as well. So we've made it over to Washington Park. This is, you guessed it, another dog park. They're just doing it up for Christmas right now. They usually will have a big tree out here. This big tall building behind me is Skyhouse. Really some of the best views in Channelside. And those are all rental units in there. Floor to ceiling windows, incredible views. It rises up 23 floors. I really like the way they developed Skyhouse. I'm a big fan of having, you know, retail space underneath of these buildings, and I think this one does a great job, and they all do really well. So you've got the District Tavern here, which is a that's right, Exotic Cuts. Hit them up.
Hey, the first barbershop in Channelside.
Hey, where? Tell the people where you're located.
Exotic Cuts 1000 Channelside.
That's right.
For free.
Oh, really?
For free.
Oh, okay. I'll see you this week. I'll see you this week.
You make an appointment.
Are you on Booksy? What are you on?
No, just call.
Just call you? All right. I got you. Thanks, guys. All right. So District Tavern there is a real popular hangout spot there. Really cool, like modern looking bar. And then here they've got, actually my dentist is here. Great Expressions. And the last buildings on our trip here is the Victory Lofts. Underneath here, you'll actually see Victory Coffee Shop as well. Another great coffee shop. And these have that industrial look, similar to the Meridian, similar to the Channelside Lofts. And there's the Meridian again, and we're out in front of Victory Lofts, which is the last building on our little walk. Victory Lofts are really cool. Again, another industrial loft look if you like that polished concrete. So as you can see, we're starting to come back up onto the towers now where we started, just on 12th Street. So I know this was a brief introduction of just a ton of different buildings here. As you can see, I mean, there's just so many options. And this is without even getting into Water Street. You know, a lot of people would argue that Water Street is Channelside, but I think Water Street's Water Street, Channelside's Channelside. But we'd probably both be right. To make this sort of palatable, I wasn't able to give you too much information on each one. What I want to do is deep dive into each of the buildings with their own individual videos, which I'm really looking forward to. We'll actually do a tour of a unit in there, or maybe several units, whatever we can get. We'll look at the amenities of each one of those buildings. We'll see what's for sale, what's for rent, and maybe one of those videos could help you. Maybe one of those videos could help you. Look at this guy. And so I plan to do a deeper dive into each one of the buildings, and we'll be able to help you decide, better choose which building makes the most sense for you.